Growth therapy.
Anus. The word anus is just funny. Like, tell me how it's
I
not
love
funny.
anus. It's such a funny word.
It's such a funny word. If you don't laugh at it, you're Mother Teresa. Like, good for you. But
you all went to like Catholic school.
I did.
So you are Mother Teresa.
I don't know. I'm Mother Hoisa.
Well, no, what's that one that was a prostitute?
Mary Magdalene?
Mary Magdalene.
Yeah, I'd fuck with her. Yeah. Also, she wasn't really a prostitute. Like, that was just a myth. No, she was just like, there's like actually like some historical evidence that she was like, not like royal, but like royal adjacent, like from a powerful, really good family. Oh,
why did they call her a slut? Why did they like slut shame her?
She was like a woman in his inner circle, and I think it like they didn't want women to like they wanted women to have a very specific type of power.
Let's have it closer to your No, we're still getting this situation.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay.
There. That's good. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So anyways.
Penis check.
Penis check. I wish I had
Mic check, penis check.
I know. Go on. I was like really interested in this history of Mary Magdalene.
But this is me just like remembering things. So that I feel like I could be like not 100% right, but I don't think she was a prostitute. Like, I know that there's some historical evidence, or there's some historians. I should say it like this. There's some because I haven't read the evidence, so like I can't say. But there's some historians who say that she was a member of a very powerful and wealthy family and like left to be a disciple of Jesus. There are other people who say that she was just like a religious person, like the Paul and other, I don't know, who are his disciples?
I know. Although, I forgot, it's been a while.
John. There's a John.
There's a John. There's a Peter.
There's
maybe.
a Peter.
Is there a Peter?
I feel like
there has to be a Peter.
There was?
Yeah.
But I do feel like I am 99% right that she wasn't a prostitute, and that was like a myth that was perpetuated for a long, long time, because one, it made Jesus look good as like this person who's a savior, but then it also made sure that like if women, because Mary Magdalene was unmarried, I was
going to say she probably just had like unmarital sex, and they're just like, you're a prostitute.
Yeah. And there are many historians who also are like, well, there's lots of evidence that Jesus and her were lovers or companions. So, this idea that she was a prostitute, and that like there's a lot of rumors around her, and I don't think we can really get like facts because it was so long ago. Right. But yeah, there's no evidence that she was a prostitute. You know what I mean? Like,
well, there you go, guys. Comment below what you think of Mary Magdalene.
Let's make her cool again.
Because honestly, like we should have had the Bible in her perspective.
That would be a cool, like...
Wait, did I just make a movie up right now?
I would watch that.
I would watch that too, because that'd be really interesting, because obviously everything's from a man's perspective.
Yeah.
Anyways, we don't have to get into the Bible, but...
Just another day at Broke Girl Therapy.
Anyways, hi guys. It's me, Stefanie Maegan, your host of Broke Girl Therapy, and we have the lovely Nadege of Pleasure Science, and she's here to pleasure...
With science.
And my cat, Judy's here. Meow. But anyways, okay. It was your birthday recently. Let's just catch up. So it was your birthday recently. We went to Bar Sinister in Hollywood.
Yep, a Gothic BDSM.
Oh, I felt like I was in like a Slutty Wednesday movie.
Yeah. Like, oh my God. Actually, like, did you just give them their new slogan?
Honestly, I made that up right now, and I feel like
you're
that's
killing
exactly
it. You've got a movie.
I got a movie, and I got a slogan for him.
Because it is, though. It is like really a Slutty Wednesday movie in there.
Oh, 1,000%. And they do like BDSM upstairs, and then downstairs it's just like a Gothic dance floor.
Yeah.
And it was just like Wednesday Addams dance tutorial, like all over like everyone was doing a thing with that, whether they realized it or not. Like,
yeah.
It was so cool. I felt like I was in a movie.
It was fun. Oh, we should go back. I love it
back.
there. It's such a it's like stepping into like a vortex in a way. Like they really like create their own space and like energy. And I love to upstairs in the BDSM area, there's no cameras allowed, like no phones.
I love
so
that, like
you
the
can,
protection of that. Yeah.
So it's really fun because you could go downstairs, you can dance, you could be with your friends. They have the patio outside, they have a little marketplace, and then upstairs there's like there's like stuff for everybody. Yeah. Like you want to buy earrings? Fine.
Oh yeah,
you
they literally have like a little like
yeah.
market where you could go shopping.
Yeah,
they literally like a Gothic store.
Yep.
Like it was.
You want to go to Hot Topic? We got you.
Oh,
you
1000%.
Yeah,
it's the Hot Topic customers grown up, all grown up.
Yeah.
Like 1000%. So
yeah,
I had a great time. I was about to do shrooms there. Thank God I didn't.
Oh my God.
Because like I just don't think that's a place for shrooms.
No, not
maybe
not
Molly.
the first time you go there.
Maybe not the first time.
Yeah.
But Molly, I was like really wishing I was on Molly.
Molly would have been fun.
I've just been in a mood for drugs lately.
I have been too. I haven't been in a mood to drink, but I've been in a mood.
Me too.
Because I love a buzz.
Right. A buzz is good. It's
Yeah.
fine. It's like whatever. But I've been wanting to do we should do drugs together.
We should do drugs together.
I have a bunch of Molly and I keep saying this in every episode. But
I haven't done Molly in forever.
Oh, we should go.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
I
go.
mean, I don't know where we'll go. I'll be like, we should go, but we don't know where we're going. We just know we're going to go do drugs.
Sometimes just not having a plan.
Yeah.
And just going with the vibes is the best.
the way.
Yeah.
100%.
Because like even sometimes like I've done Molly in just like a Walmart parking lot and I was like the vibe.
Yeah.
You know, and just like blasting music. That's all we needed.
Oh, totally.
So I think that we should just like take it and just see where it takes us.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I think that's how you need to be with drugs. Like let the drugs guide you to.
You can't control it. You just have to like let it happen.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. So let's like answer some emails. I haven't, you were like answer some emails earlier.
Oh yeah.
I had to come up with the name of this segment because I don't know like what to call it. But basically I want to just like answer listener emails with like questions and stories because
Love it.
I haven't done that in a while and y'all have been sending me some. So I'm like, let's just
story time with Steph.
Yeah. And I also like don't feel like talking about myself today. Or unless you want to talk about yourself today.
Oh, I don't even know what if you
Wait,
have a
so
question.
are you like fucking? Like are you dating? Like what's your sex life?
It's been fun.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. I had an incredible threesome with this really hot couple. The only bummer was the penis person. The penis was too big. So
yeah, you don't like big dick.
No, but we love all penises. Like your penis is beautiful. And anyone with small dicks out there, now you know there are people who like small dicks. But yeah, no, I do.
But how small is like too small?
There is no too small for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love fingers. I love small dicks.
Okay, so just like smaller things.
Yeah.
I love that.
Because I'm just small. It's also because I don't even think it's because I'm small. I think it's because I have vaginismus or used to, which is like when the muscles in your vulva, like before penetration, it can also happen when you're inserting a tampon. It's like due to anxiety, it just closes. And it like kind of closes involuntarily. So it can be like a trauma response. Like if you were violated and then the next time you have sex, like the muscles could like really clench and close and be like, we don't want anything inside because the last time something was inside.
Right.
But then, or it could come from medical trauma, you know, like just being nervous at a doctor's office or there's so many reasons you could have it, you know, but anyway.
So you have that?
I have it / had it. It's something that is like, it's sort of like you treat it by going to like pelvic floor therapy. Like it's like if you strain a muscle, you'd go to a therapist. What is it? A physical therapist. And they're a physical therapist for your groin and they're called pelvic floor therapists. And so a reason why I really like small penises is because they just make me feel more relaxed. Like I don't have to worry about something really big going inside of me and my body like having a bad reaction to that.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I did have a fun threesome.
Oh my God. So like,
even though the penis was really big, thank God, like his wife was there to fuck him so I could do other things.
So you did things more to the wife.
Yeah. So
wait, how did you
I did
meet
things
them?
to both of them. I met them at my friend's birthday,
Okay.
who's like a kinky polyamorous person. And it was actually really fun. So I went there. I noticed this guy checking me out. And I instantly was like, oh, you're really hot. And so then I went over to my friend whose birthday it was and I was like, what's his deal? And she was like, well, he's married, but they're poly. And I was like, ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
We love this. And so then I started talking to him and started talking to his wife. They're both awesome.
And you were talking to his wife too?
Yeah. Because I also just like, it's not fun for me to have sex if someone doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Like a part of it, you know, even if the wife like wouldn't have wanted to be there and it was just me and her husband, if she's not feeling great about it, that doesn't feel good to me. I just don't really like that it takes away from my own pleasure.
Right.
So I didn't have as much chemistry with her as I did with him, but we were all really, I don't know, we like the friend vibe was there.
Right.
You know, and so it was really fun. And then we ended up hanging out a little bit later and going to some hot springs. And that was like a great kind of, I always think of like everything is foreplay.
Yeah.
So like us going to these hot springs.
I love that.
Right?
That's a good way to kind of like look at life, because I feel like sometimes I'm like, I need more foreplay, but I'm like, sometimes it's like you could just glamorize foreplay.
Yeah. No, this couple taking me to these hot springs was foreplay for me. I'm like, you're taking me out. I don't have to plan. We're going to this cool nature experience. We went and had dinner after, and then we went back to their place. And I was actually like kind of intimidated and like not sure, you know, because it can be, even for like someone who studies sex like me, it can be, okay.
Sorry, I just wanted to turn more to you.
Some adjustments.
Yeah.
But no, it can be like, it can still be intimidating to have sex with people for the first time. So
you still get nervous?
Oh yeah. Okay. I literally almost left because I was like, maybe tonight's not the night. Even though I'm like, they took me out to hot springs. They took me to dinner.
They're
like
ready to fuck.
Yeah. Like, you know, but they were so sweet about it. And I think, and the wife was like a little bit more shy. And so I was kind of like, oh, I think maybe like I'll like I couldn't feel who was making the move or not. And so then I got in my head and was like, oh, you know, maybe I'll call it a night. Maybe I'll go home. And they're both like, oh, well, if you want to, but you don't have to. And then the husband like gave me this really just like big hug. And I don't know, it was on. And then I was like, maybe we should just like take a shower instead.
That's like my biggest thing is like, I've actually never had a threesome, but I would like love to have a threesome. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't.
It's awkward.
It's awkward. How do you get that? And I feel like in the past there have been moments where people have initiated threesomes. Like it's happened a few times where I'm like, wait, like I'll think about it later. I'm like, oh, they were trying. Okay, you know. And then, but like in the moment, I'm just such an awkward person that I tend to make a joke. I get like just really nervous, and I kind of like end up just not happening.
Yeah.
And in some cases, it's just I wasn't really interested, but other times I think I just got like kind of like, okay, bye, you know?
Yeah.
Because I just don't know what to do in those situations.
Yeah.
You know?
It is nerve-wracking. And like, one time, actually, I think this was my first threesome, if I remember correctly. And my friend, it was me and my friend, and then this guy that we picked up in an elevator, whose name was Peter. So maybe he was
one of the
biblical,
disciples.
Maybe he was one of the disciples.
He's one of Jesus.
And maybe I am Mary Magdalene.
Maybe you are.
It's all coming back. But no, anyway, my friend and I were in an elevator, and he walked in, and we were like, fuck it, what else are we going to do tonight? So we picked him up. And I mean, it was also, she really led the way. Like this was like years ago. I was very, very shy. And I still am shy when I'm flirting or like somebody.
Yeah.
But so me and her, like, we met him. We were all going on an elevator up to the rooftop. We get to the rooftop and we were both like, hey, do you want to like join us for a drink? And so then he joined us for a drink, and it turned out he lived down the street. And then me and her went to the bathroom and we're like, okay, we think he's cute. Like we want to fuck. Right. And so then we went back, and then he invited us back to his place. And then when we were at his place, my friend was like, I think you two should make out. And that was the
that's the icebreaker.
That was the icebreaker.
Okay, that's
so there is no perfect icebreaker. And like for this situation that I recently had, like it was like this guy giving me a hug, goodbye, and I could feel too energetically that he and his wife were both like, you can go home. Like there's no trying to keep you here.
Right.
Like I could literally feel like when I said, oh, I think I'll go home now, they were like, okay, well, you're welcome to stay, but like, whatever you want. And then he hugged me goodbye, and I like looked up into his eyes, and we had been making out at the hot springs and stuff. But I think going back to their place like got me all nervous again.
Yeah, because you're like, okay, now I got
like it's go time, it's game time. Oh my god,
it's happening. Yeah.
But then we looked into each other's eyes and we had already been making out. So then I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna stay. And so then we had gone on the hike, we hadn't and gone to dinner, but we hadn't like showered or anything. So I was like, should we shower? And then that was the like icebreaker. But then there was also when I saw his penis, and it was so like funny because I looked down at his penis and he was like super hard because his wife and this hot girl are like in his shower.
Yeah,
you know,
he's like
he's very excited.
Naked women.
So, and I looked down at his penis, and his wife was like, "I know he's really big," and she was like proud, and I was like, "Oh well." They don't know that I actually like get nervous about that.
Yeah.
But no, we had great sex. It was really fun. And
did you explain to them that like
it's hard for me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially like I actually tried to have penetration with him, but it just wasn't gonna work.
Yeah.
So we'd use toys and all like, I mean, it's fun. Group sex is fun, you know? Yeah. So I used a vibrator. There was lots of kissing, lots of like massaging. I got to watch them fuck.
It sounds like sweet. Oh, yeah. You have to watch them have sex.
And like they're married, so they like know each other. You know what I mean? So it's like hot to watch people who like know what they like.
Like what's the difference when you see like someone like when they like that versus someone if like you guys just met like a random guy? Like what's the difference I think physically? Or you just like it's just.
I feel like there could be like more laughter when it's newer. I mean, I think there's a lot of laughter when it's older, like long term too. But I think like.
But you're right. When
it's like the nervous gig, like
there is a bit of like giggling when you're like having sex for the first time with someone, especially when it's like a one night stand or you know.
Totally.
That's so funny. I never really thought about that because like now I just have like long term relationship sex.
Yeah.
And it's just like we know each other, we do the thing.
Yeah.
But. We're not giggling.
Yeah.
You know,
we're laughing, but we're not giggling.
Yeah, exactly. And if we're giggling, it's like, what?
Yeah, yeah.
What happened?
Did someone fart?
Did someone fart? Did I do something?
Yeah. Or
did I look crazy?
Yeah.
Or that's just me. I probably would be like, what happened? I'd be overthinking. But let's read some emails, right, Jude?
Let's do it.
Okay, this one it popped up. It says, I ate ass.
Proud of you.
So proud of you. I've actually never eaten ass before.
I haven't either.
Really?
No, I haven't either.
Do you not?
But
are you scared?
I don't. The opportunity hasn't presented itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a very like vulnerable thing to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's not. It's more talked about now, but I don't feel like a lot of people are still up to par to doing it.
Yeah. Well, while we're waiting, I'll say I do love getting my ass licked. I know that.
Oh, really? So you've gotten your ass eaten.
I've gotten my ass eaten. And I love it when someone takes a thumb and like massages the hole, like nice and tender. That's really, really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked when Bryan like put a butt plug in me. That was fun.
Ooh.
I like butt things. I think I need to explore that more. I've never had my ass eaten. I've never eaten ass. So we got someone here who's had their ass eaten. So I just want to start with, I love your show. Wasn't here from the beginning. Started listening since 2020. Binged your whole show and been here since then. Love seeing you get bigger and having your shows. Hope one day I'll be able to come to one. Yes. Where are you from?
The live shows are great.
Oh my God, you're in LA. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You need to come to the next
LA
LA
show was everything.
That was the most lit like thing I've ever like. It was a party. Anyways, I fucking love this guy. Besides loving him for who he is, I fucking love how open he is with me when it comes to sex. I always wanted to peg a guy, and he was open to that. We haven't tried it, though. Okay, now to the story. Like I said, he's very open with himself, and I fucking love it. I love how he isn't scared to try new things. So on this day, we were fucking and all. So I was sucking his dick, and then, as a joke, say, I'm going to eat your ass. We've talked about this, and it's not like it's out of nowhere. And he just looks at me, and so I ask, can I? And he says, it's up to you. So I'm instantly a bit scared because I've never done it, and it's a fucking asshole. Shit comes out of there. Well, but was fucking down. So anyways, sorry, I read that sentence really weird, but she says, I've never done it, but it's a fucking asshole. Shit comes out of there. But was fucking down. So anyways, he's jacking off, and I open his cheeks and get to it. Sorry. I just had the
I
vision
love
of
the
it.
way that was said.
I know.
Opened the cheeks and
she's like,
got to it.
Literally, like, it was so simple, but it was so visual. I saw it happen.
Yep, I know. I saw a little anus in my, imagination.
Very clear.
Yep.
I just stick my tongue in his ass and get to work. I was so nervous just because I've never done it, so I wanted to do it correctly, but he seemed to enjoy it. He was all positioning himself as it went on, moving back and forth and shit, and I was fucking loving it. At some point, my jaw starts hurting, so I stick my finger in his ass. Always ask if it's okay, just to make sure.
Yep.
And sucked him off. Sorry, pause. Pause for a dramatic effect. Because actually, I've never done that, and I feel like this needs to be a thing.
Yeah.
Because I think every guy would like this. The gays do it, but
it's pleasurable. There are definitely like lots of nerve clusters.
Oh yeah, like I felt it, like as if I had a dick. He ended up nutting in my mouth while my finger was in his ass, and he said he loved it. I fingered his ass before, but not while he's coming. He said it felt really good, and it felt like his balls were going to explode. I can't wait to eat his ass again, with the like purple devil emoji. Oh, also want to suck on his toes. I don't know. After I heard the twins mention that, I was like, I should try it. And that's it. She's an Aries, and she lives in Hawthorne. So shout out to Aries in LA, eating ass and
proud
shit.
Of you.
Proud of you.
Super proud. Inspiring us all, honestly, high key.
I know. I feel like I really need to like step it up.
Yeah.
Because I'm just barely sucking dick. Okay. I'm like barely in the mood for that,
yeah.
you know?
I am too, actually. The last person that I was with, like, who had a penis, I was just like, I literally went there thinking like, I'm not sucking dick tonight. And energetically, I think he picked up on it, and he never asked, he never anything. And I was grateful for that, because I was like, I just wasn't into it. Sometimes I am into it, but like sometimes I'm just not.
It's just, it just depends on, it depends on the day. Yeah. And sometimes I have days where I'm like, let me take full control. And then most days I'm lazy.
Yeah. I'm a pillow princess, honestly.
I've like lately been becoming a pillow princess too.
Yeah.
Is that wrong?
No.
Should I step it up?
No.
Okay.
follow your bliss, you know?
Yeah. Sometimes, I'm like a fish.
Yeah. Oh my God. The starfish.
Starfish. I'm just like laying there like, give it to me. But then I'll put a vibrator on. Yeah. It's like my favorite position right now is missionary. So he's on top, and then I like have the vibrator on my vagina.
Ooh, I love that.
That's just like my favorite. It's like my go-to.
I love using vibrators actually when I'm like either doing hand jobs or blow jobs or any type of oral really, and like having a vibrator be a part of the mix and tease it, because one, like my mouth gets tired pretty quick, so it's like a nice hack to have to kind of like not have to do too much.
So you put the vibrator on a dick?
You can tease it up and down. You know what? Should I take out my cute little
We might get demonetized, but it's okay.
Well, we're going to change the name of this object to papiska. This is now a papiska, so that way we do not get canceled on Instagram and YouTube and just everywhere, because they can't handle it.
And I'm going to have to just like put an emoji on that papiska, but
okay.
But it's okay. We're here for the vibes.
What were we talking? What was
the vibrator?
The vibrator. Where to use a vibrator on the papiska. Okay. So, what can be our pretend vibrator?
Oh, I actually have one over there.
Oh, heck yeah. Look at us. It's like we talk about sex for a living or something.
Like, I just have a casual vibrator just in a
I have too many vibrators at this point.
Literally, it's a little pocket.
Oh, that's
one.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's a little pocket.
This is perfect because you can really see. So I'm just gonna hold this up here so we don't have to like censor. So now they don't know what this is. The internet. But there's lots of like, you can like tease up and down the shaft, and it's like really, really pleasurable. You could also tease the baliskas. The baliskas of the papiskas.
Wait, I like this. The baliskas.
I become a Russian. I like
baliska.
Baliska, But you can like play with the baliska over here. And then also, I'm going to hold this here again so we don't get canceled. But there's this little area right here called the frenulum. And it's this is a super, super sensitive area. So this is a really fun area.
My boyfriend likes when I like lick that area.
Yep. Oh yeah. That's a really fun area to like tease. And like, I like doing like Morse code vibrator kind of play. So I'll be like, zoot, 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 zoot. Yep. Teasing them. Super fun. And I do it to myself too.
Yeah.
Like I love, and in fact, like on a vulva,
that's so funny. I don't like doing that. I just like to stick it really hard, and I want to feel. I like the more intense, the better.
Oh my! I love that.
Yeah. I don't like just a casual.
I'm a Morse code type of. Yeah, I'm like sending a message to the genitals. I don't know. But with the vulva. Look at my cute little vulva. I'm so excited about this.
No, I'm really excited that you have this. Thank you for bringing.
I literally texted Steph and I was like, can I bring my new pillow? And then I sent a picture of just like a puss.
A pillow princess.
Oh my God.
It's your pillow princess.
Oh. So with vibes, like you can obviously go on the head of the clitoris. I was trying to think of like baliska, papiska, like clitiska.
Just clitty.
Clitty. Okay, we're gonna play like the tip of clitty. Which, by the way, the clitoris is this. It's a big girl.
Yeah.
It's a big girl. Them. They. What have you? Him. Doesn't matter. It's a big.
Yeah.
But you can play with the vibrator up here. But it's also really fun to play on like the lips because the erectile tissue of the clitoris, which on average is 4 inches long. Like this is all the clitoris. And so all of this erectile tissue is under the lips of the lips of the vulva.
Yeah.
So you can like play with like if this is what the outside of the vulva looks like, you can like play with a vibrator all along the lips too. And that's
like
really, really
science.
Pleasurable. Yep. Pleasure science.
Pleasure science.
I
love that. Thank you for the demonstration.
You're welcome. I'm just excited I get to play with my
Pillow.
pachooch, which is what it's actually pachooch is a word I love use for vulvas.
Pachooch.
I think it's just fun.
That's actually cute. I like pachooch.
Isn't it cute?
We'll go with pachooch.
Pachooch. So the pachooch and the papiska.
Wee. Yay. Is that the like size you like to go for?
It is.
Aww.
Yeah. So I have one of these that I use for sex education purposes. And then I have the exact same one in my bedside table.
Love that.
You just learned something new about me today.
Do you like using dildos?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vibrating or no vibrating?
No vibrating. The vibrating is a little too distracting for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I want if I want to be pounded or stuffed, I want to feel the pounding or the stuffing.
Okay. Okay. And then you just use lube.
I mean, lube, or I really try to, just because at this point in my life, I like do get lubricated naturally, like I'm not going through a dry spell or something like that. So, or I'm not like perimenopausal or like going through something that'll make me drier,
So you a wet ass bitch.
Right now. Not always, but right now I am. So lately I've been really enjoying like taking my time so I can really, really like be wet and ready and excited. Yeah. But I do love lube. I mean, I have way too many vibrators and way too many lubes.
Love that. Being in the sex industry.
Yep.
We just stocked up.
We do stock up, but but that's like different ways. But you could absolutely use a vibrator. And in fact, that's actually something like all day today, what I was working on is like the pleasure anatomy for my sex mastery course that I was telling you about.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go over all of that stuff, like sex skills, pleasure anatomy, where the nerve clusters are centered. So that way we could learn about these things because you can use vibrators on so many different parts of your bodies. Like your feet are another really fun one to play with.
I've never thought about doing it on my feet.
Your feet have 7,000 nerve endings, and a papiska only has 4,000.
So our feet has literally more
nerve endings,
more pleasure than a penis.
I mean, I think the more pleasure is subjective, because some people, we all have those nerve endings, but for some people it's like, it can hurt to walk on sand. It's not pleasurable.
I see, yeah.
And then for other people, they're like, cane my feet. And then there's people who want a foot massage. So there's a whole spectrum of like what touch is going to be good for you.
I love a foot massage.
Oh, I love a foot massage. But yeah, so vibrators can be really fun on feet, on nipples, on rib cages. And then teasing up and down the shaft,
I feel like my boyfriend, maybe I just haven't done it right, but he says he doesn't really care for like vibrators on like his dick.
I mean, I feel like I hear that a lot because I also think it's just not something that is eroticized necessarily. So we don't like daydream about it, or maybe like don't crave it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we'll like crave other things that like we see are hot. So it's like, why not try that? But, but I don't think it means you're doing anything wrong. I think that's the case for a lot of people with a penis, you know, is that's just not a go-to. That's not something they think of. And so they're not necessarily excited by it.
Yeah, because if you think about it, like even just in consumerism, right? Like the vibrator is always sold to like the women.
Yep.
But they're never really sold to the men. And it's funny, like my boyfriend actually made he like mentioned it to me. He's like, because, you know, he's seen like the packaging of like the vibrators we get and all that stuff. He's like, it's always so like well done and like doesn't look so like intimidating. He's like, but for like sex toys for men, it always just seems so like intense that you kind of feel like a creep. Like they don't really package it in a way that makes it feel like.
That's true.
You know?
That's like, I never thought about that, but that's such a good point.
They never, like if you think of just like, you know, the fucking, you know, a sex doll or like, or what is it called?
The fleshlight?
The fleshlights. Like it always just seems so like pervy when they sell it to men versus like for women, they kind of like glamorize it and like do nice packaging, which makes sense because I know that we love a packaging. Yeah. But for men, he's like, I never really like look at like sex toys for guys because I always just feel it's just never, there's not really enough out there. Yeah. You know? And so like, question for you, like, are there like sex toys for men?
Yeah. And in fact, you know, I just heard about this new sex educator. I need to like look up his name. I think his name it's Natural something. But he is he works specifically with men and he has like a whole line of products. And he's someone who does things a little bit more like luxury, I'd say, in terms of like the branding, you know, so it doesn't feel as creepy. But I will say you're not wrong that a lot of the packaging that I see, if it's geared towards men, it can
here's a condom, like so like masculine and like intense and in your face.
Yeah, you're either like a warrior or like a perv.
Right, exactly. So it just, there isn't just like the luxurious packaging that like, because I think guys deserve that too. Like,
they do.
You know, they want to like be able to explore that and not feel like they're violating anybody. Yeah. You know?
Oh my God, totally.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess we should should we start normalizing like men using vibrators?
Oh my God, we should like just commercials.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Men, this is for you too. Not just the ladies.
It really is.
So, I mean, like, they should put up their butt, imagine. Mm-hmm. But wait, going back to the feet, because I have a lot of questions. Like, you know, because I'm probably going to try this. Yeah. What are, like, some parts of the feet and the toes that, like, or maybe a way to, like, use the vibrator to help pleasure or feel good?
Yeah. I really like using it on, like,
if you don't mind using your feet.
They're like, I have calluses because I'm a runner, so
don't
you
also could use
judge.
Oh, no, you're good. You're fine.
No, for all you foot fetish people.
It's free. I'm sorry, guys. Unless we had like a foot mannequin, but we don't.
We don't. So you get to see my runner's feet, and you're welcome. So
some people like it. So
let me just. So I like putting it in here and like the heel. This is like a really, even right now, I'm actually like really enjoying this. And then
actually put on my.
Ooh, yeah. And then I like going in between the toes. Like these are really fun places. And then like toe sucking, but I'm not the biggest fan of toe sucking on the toe because I don't really feel like I feel it. I like it when it's like kind of over here and it's more like a
like their whole mouth is on it. Oh, okay.
Chomping. But actually don't use your teeth for me personally. But some people might like that because some people are pain sluts. And so like for me, I'm a sensual slut. Okay. But yeah, that's how I like to use vibrators on my feet.
So kind of like in the base of the foot. Oh, it actually does feel really good right now. I'm kind of like, I'm enjoying this, guys. And imagine there's a little bit of vibration. I will be coming. And then in between the toes. Okay, I might just like do that for myself just to like do it. Or even just do it for my boyfriend.
Oh, totally. You know what I like to do in the bathtub, because I have a shower head that comes down, is I like to like turn the shower head on like a really...
I love a shower head.
I love a shower head on my puss. Yeah. But I like to turn it on like a really, really harsh setting and then have it like on my feet and like have the like rush and force of the water from the shower head, like kind of massaging my feet. That also is really, really nice.
Maybe do you have a foot fetish?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if like what my foot fetish is.
I feel like
other
we
than
all
I just want
deep down
feet.
have a foot fetish. Like
I think
we all
so.
like you said, we have 4,000.
Oh yeah,
nerves,
7,000.
7,000.
4,000 is the papiska.
The
papiska.
But the feet. I mean, I think if we all tapped into it.
Yeah.
We all like it.
Totally. No, I love a good foot moment.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I love my feet getting
I never
massaged.
really I never really cared about it, but now they're just putting the thought of putting a vibrator on my feet does like sound really fun.
Would it be fun for you to be like somewhat restrained and then like Bryan like teases your feet or something?
Oh my God. I feel like I would laugh.
Because that's what I love. You know, laugh torture and tickle torture is like, it can be fun. It could
be fun, but it's also like.
It can though be, I feel like for me, it's such a fine line where tickle torture can be fun until I'm like, I will kill you.
Yeah, no. I'm like,
enough is enough.
Me and my ex-boyfriend in high school like got into a huge fight because he was just tickling me and he was on top and I just was like, I was pissed. Like I was literally like, and he just kept tickling me and just thought it was funny to like spit in his face to stop. And he was just like,
oh, I see. It wasn't like spit in my face. It was
no. It wasn't like a horny thing. It was literally like, get the fuck off of me. He was like, oh fuck, and then all my friends judged me for it. It's okay.
Rage mode activated.
Yeah, no, but it's also like you weren't respecting my body.
Yeah,
and I didn't want to be tickled anymore.
Yeah,
I hate being tickled, but I'll do it for.
Well, I don't even know if it needs to be like tickling so much as like he would torture by like putting a vibrator on like pleasure centers, you know?
Okay.
Because don't force yourself to be tickled. Don't do anything you don't want to do.
I fucking hate being tickled.
Yeah, don't do anything you don't want to do.
Like, don't even go there. But I love tickling.
Good.
I love tickling my boyfriend because he's like, he's
ticklish.
Really ticklish.
Oh,
so it's really funny. Like I know his like ticklish spots. And it's funny. So, but anyways, let's read another story.
Story time.
Story time. Okay, this one is called Bedroom Troubles.
Oh.
Hey, Stefanie and other fave co-hosts joining. Okay, Nadege. Love all the way from Brisbane, Australia. Girl.
Put it on the Bobby. I don't know.
Put it on the Bobby.
I am sure that was horrible.
They're probably like,
oh, stop it. You're canceled.
Yeah. Just wanted to check in and see what y'all think of my situation. Me and my partner were Netflix and chilling, and one thing led to another, clothes off, and next I'm giving him head. However, as I'm going down on him, he isn't able to stay hard. He briefly apologizes, saying sorry, that shouldn't have happened, and he got caught up in the show we had playing. It really turned me off and ruined my mood. Sometimes I just can't read. I just down and just said I wanted to go to bed. So, okay. This has happened before, and we had a fight over a similar situation. He couldn't stay focused and lost his erection because his friend might have been sleeping with his ex and wanted to text his mate to find out what happened. Not a friend, if you ask me. Am I crazy for getting upset at him not being able to focus on time? Okay, I'm confused.
There's a lot happening
here.
There's
a lot happening here. And
we have Netflix and chill.
Yeah. And so he couldn't stay hard, got caught up in the show. She was pretty pissed about that, went to bed.
Yeah.
It like turned her off and ruined her mood. This has happened before. So it's happened before, and we had a fight over a similar situation. He couldn't stay focused and lost his erection because his friend might have been sleeping with his ex and wanted to text his mate to find out what happened. Okay, so it was more like he knew his friend was out.
So it was like another time. It was like a previous time.
Yeah, I guess
he lost his erection because he needed to text his friend about his ex, which sucks.
Wait, so
that's that would hurt my feelings.
Was it her like this guy's ex, or was it her friend's ex?
Sounded like
his friend might have been sleeping with his ex and wanted to text his mate to find out what happened. And then she put in quotes, "Not a friend, if you ask me."
Right. So it sounds like
So, sorry. Love you, girl. And am I crazy for getting upset at him and not being able to focus on time? So, okay. So they've been struggling with sex because it seems like he can't stay focused, can't really stay hard. He gets distracted with whatever fucking movie is on, and also got distracted because homeboy was out fucking his ex. And so this is deeper than just, I think there's a lot to unpack here. Okay. So, I mean, I don't think you're in the wrong for being upset. I'm also just kind of like, well, I don't know, Nadege. What do you think?
I feel
like I need more details.
Yeah, based on the details we have, it sounds like there was an incident that was really hurtful with this girl's boyfriend texting his friend who he thought was having sex with his ex. And then they had Netflix and chill, and he couldn't focus on her and focused on the movie. And that reminded her of this past situation, which might be the maybe so more of a root trigger.
Right. So maybe she's thinking are you not over your ex? And that's why you can't stay hard.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I guess we'll start here with you as an expert.
Yeah.
Is it a red flag if a guy can't stay hard while he's having sex with you?
No, not at all. It's not a red flag at all. There's so many reasons why that could be happening that have nothing to do with you. Also, all the nerve endings are still in the papiska.
Yeah.
So I'm living for the papiska. But all the nerve endings are still there. So even if you're not having an erection, you can still have pleasurable, mind-blowing sex with a flaccid penis, actually.
Yeah.
And that's another time where vibrators can come in handy. But that's not necessarily relevant for our friend in Brisbane, Australia.
Yeah.
But fuck, I forgot the question that you asked.
No,
me. Is it normal for?
Is it a red flag?
No,
no.
It's not. That wouldn't be a red flag to me. I mean, it certainly is discouraging. That isn't to take away from her feeling discouraged about not getting the sex that she's hoping for.
But what if it's happening? Because it seems like it's happening all the time.
It seems like it's happening all the time, and
when does it become a red flag?
For me, the red flag is, why are you in the middle of our erotic time thinking about your friend having sex with your ex? That's the red flag. That's the red. That for me, I would be so hurt if that, on top of someone losing an erection, because it all is also, even though you don't know the reason why the erection is being lost, and it most of the time doesn't have to do with the other lover, and that's a science thing, most of the time it doesn't have to do with the other person, but it still hurts, and it's still hard not to take that personal and think am I not doing enough for you?
Right.
So, that sounds like a really hurtful situation. Definitely at least a yellow flag with that. And then it completely makes sense that she'd be triggered during this Netflix and chill when he can't focus again. And honestly, just psychologically, the fact that the Netflix and chill thing happened, and in the same post she's circling it back to this other memory shows me that there is trauma. A root there. Yeah. And there is she might be projecting the past onto this moment.
Yeah.
Or she might not be, and there might be an issue with him focusing and a pattern there as well.
Yeah. I think so. What would be the right way to address this to your partner and have a conversation without it blowing up to a fight? What do you think is the best way to be what's happening?
Yeah. Well, the best thing to do is to keep a curious tone when you're talking about sex.
Yeah.
Also, not try to talk about sex when you're hungry or already irritable. And don't.
That's so true.
It's it sounds like such a no-brainer, but it's so important.
Yeah.
And then also where you're having sex, don't have the conversation about sex right before or right after, or in places where you have sex, if you're in bed already, because that can confuse the reason why you're having the conversation and make someone think you're talking about sex because now you want to start having it, as opposed to, I want to talk about sex with you because I'm hurt and I need emotional connection. I don't need the sexual connection right now. But I will say, to your question of how do we avoid a fight? I think one of the healthiest things we could do is recognize that sometimes we can't. Sex is an activator. It'll activate intimacy and pleasure, but it'll also activate our deepest insecurities. So you can you can do everything to the best of your ability with so much empathy, and you could still hit someone's trigger. That doesn't have to do with you, and they can be activated.
That's very true.
So going into these conversations, I think something that I personally do is I kind of know, like, this could go off the rails. So what is the worst case scenario? Let me think about that for a moment in my head and play that out and just accept that that could happen. And if that happens, maybe we like take a break, because that's the other thing. When you're talking about intimacy and someone is having a reaction and they start to close down, if you're not also kind of triggered as well, because sometimes two people can get activated, if you have the ability and awareness, it can be a great time to be like, you know what, let's not continue this talk right now.
Yeah.
Because if someone is triggered and if someone is upset or insecure, they're going to be closed. They won't be able to receive what you need them to receive anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
But it sounds like they need a conversation about this moment with the texting and the ex. Yeah. Because that sounds like
she's just insecure in the relationship in general.
Yeah. And that moment with the ex, I mean, who wouldn't be in, like, who
1000%.
That would make me, that would, I'd be so hurt. So it sounds like that might, like, there needs to be a discussion about that, you know?
Okay. That was really great advice, Nadege. Thank you. I loved it. Because you really, like, talked about, like, where not to have it, where to have it, and how it, like, you know, just perspective, how, like, people are insecure, and it's such a vulnerable thing when you do have sex. Yeah. And when you talk about sex, and when you have to, like, confront the sex. Like, it's such a scary thing to do sometimes.
Oh my God. It's huge. Honestly, like in the sex mastery course that I'm that's coming out next year, I like have a whole module about communication because it's so important. And like, there are tips that you can use. And then it's also so important to really know yourself. But you need to have communication with yourself too. And like, what does that look like?
Right.
So stay tuned, people. Valentine's Day next year.
Oh my God, you guys plug. Yeah, you guys should take your courses.
I always feel a little awkward plugging because I'm, you know, but then I'm like, but I also do really cool shit. I love what I do.
And that's why I always tell every single person that is like, I mean, you know, starting a business is, you know, whatever it is, just like you do have to like self-promote, and it feels like icky. Yeah. But you have to be your biggest fan.
Yeah. Which, you know what? I will say, like, I am my biggest fan, even if sometimes I'm like not as promote-y as maybe I should be. I do definitely feel like I'm my biggest fan. So sure. That's good. But I'm your biggest fan too, because I think what you do is badass.
Stop. I'm your biggest fan. I love it. My boyfriend is like your biggest fan too.
I love him. I'm his biggest fan. He gives me like hope with like men. Good men. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. He like loves everything that you like represent and like talk about.
I mean, he was at my birthday. He was dancing at the BDSM so club.
He got a haircut for it.
Oh, he looked good.
Yeah, he did. He had a good time. Okay, let's do one more. Let's see. This one, the first thing I see is nipples. Let's see. Oh, this one is called nipple scabs.
Okay.
So we'll see where this takes us. I'm not sure where I should even start. Over the last few years, I've flirted and built a sexual tension with this tall Mexican man from my small town, but we never met up to fuck. Last year, I got into a situationship with a guy that turned out to be tall man's cousin. Okay. The tall Mexican man. Okay. So we went on group dates, activities, and had to act like that tension wasn't there anymore, even though it was. He would walk behind me just to sneak an ass grab. Oh. This is interesting. Last fall, my situationship came to an end when homeboy caught feelings and I dipped out. But that sucks that like homeboy's cousin was like grabbing
the ass of.
I didn't talk to tall man since then. Jumped to New Year's Eve this year. When did you send his email? Oh, sorry. I'm like, sometimes I'm so behind. I'm like, damn. I'm like, I'm reading it from like last year. Where'd I go? Tall man hit me up saying he was going up to a local bar that I was already at, and he asked for a ride home since I was my group's DD for the night. Of course, I agreed, but knew it wouldn't be a good idea if I went into his place when I dropped him off. After I dropped my other friends off, I ended at his place, and he leaned over. Isn't it funny? We're always We're like, we're not going to do it. Like, we're not going to go with it tonight. And then we end up at his place.
I feel like that's the fun part. Honestly, the fun part is being like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Not, like, you know, it's going to be like, I'm not going to end up at his house when I drop him off.
I almost get like tingles. Yeah. Yep. Like, it's like a way that I like flirt with myself. I'm not going to do it.
I know. Because it feels so wrong, but it feels so good. Because it feels so wrong that you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so after I dropped my friends off, I ended at his place, and he leaned over, grabbed my neck, and kissed me. Game over. My pussy was throbbing at that point because this was built up for years. We went into his place and didn't waste any time. We stayed on the couch and got to work. After some mediocre head from him, jeez, mediocre. It's an interesting choice of words. I needed to put some work on this dick. Girl, when I tell you I got scared when I saw his hard dick, I knew that wasn't going to fit in easily. I never struggled to suck or deep throat a dick before, but that 9-inch pop can girth dick was not going in my throat. I just decided to let my pussy do the work and told him to ease into it. Well, he didn't, and it was like a switch flip, and he turned rough. I'm talking slapping my face, airway choking, slapping my clit. Slapping my clit? He even tried to shove his dick into my ass, and at one point I moved away quick. I have some big titties, so of course he was giving them some attention, but he kept biting my nipples. I wouldn't say anything and would just push his head off. LOL. It even went as far as him turning on porn on the TV and watching that instead of looking at me when we were fucking. Interesting. I was getting sore after an hour or so and decided to titty fuck him since he clearly liked my boobs. I was sucking his tip while I was titty fucking him. This is very graphic, guys. He grabbed my neck and chin to move my head off his dick and grabbed my nipples so damn hard and proceeded to bounce my boobs on his dick. Okay. Sorry, I had to like visualize it for a second. My ADHD kicked in. So I went over a second. I stopped. Jumped ahead. Bounced my boobs on his dick by pulling my nipples up and down. It only went on for a few seconds before I stopped him because it fucking hurt. It just got weird, and I looked down at my nipples and found them bleeding. I quickly just told him I was over it. We were fucking for close to 2 hours at this point, and my pussy was sore, my nipples were bleeding, and there was BDSM porn on the TV. My nipples were scabbed for weeks afterwards, and when I showed my friends my nipples, she reminded me that he had braces. I forgot because not many 30-year-old men have braces. I have now concluded that he may not have been biting my nipples. Instead, his braces were just ripping my nipples. Nipples every time to suck them. Every time my nipples would get hard, it would rip the scabs open, just creating new ones. Most painful experience of my life.
Oh.
This sounds...
It sounds non-consensual.
Yeah. As graphic and as like, you know.
It's not the graphic that makes it non-consensual. It's him putting his dick in her butt without asking. It's him being rough without asking. It's him doing a lot of things without asking. It's him just because... And then like watching the porn and not even looking at her. Like she didn't even feel like seen. She kind of just felt, I'm sorry, girl. This sounds like a very traumatizing experience. Yeah, I'm sorry too.
Yeah.
You didn't deserve that and you didn't ask for that.
No.
Yeah.
He kind of just seemed like, red flag for when he grabbed
the butt.
Like he
his
obviously
cousin's
doesn't
girl.
have like boundaries or respect for anybody.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I think like, okay, so that kind of answers the, the topic of like, when we are being intimate with someone, like knowing the importance of, especially when you're exploring like BDSM or even just wanting to put porn on, just having that discussion and communication, I think in sex being like, is this okay?
Yeah.
You know? And then also like, but I've also been in situations where you're like not really okay with what's happening. And then you're just like, you just go with it just because you don't want to seem like a fucking bitch.
Yep.
You know?
I've done that so many times, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So I can relate to like her experience because I've had experiences that were really rough or things, and I didn't say anything. I just like, I was like, okay, it'll be over at some point.
That's just,
and I also would like the person, you know, it's like I'm there because I like the person. So all of a sudden sex is going sideways, but like, what am I going to say? I still like them. Like I'm still operating from the place of, oh, well, I like you. I want you to like me. And like,
we're here. I consented to this, but I'm also like, there's different levels. I think that's also a thing too, is like, we all have to, I think, normalize is there's different levels of consenting. It's not just because now, okay, we're here and I'm consenting to having sex with you. Consent is not a one-time
thing.
Yeah, there's still like, well, are we consenting to now fucking biting your fucking nipple? You know what I mean? Like, especially when it's something that's like painful.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it's like, I mean, listen, in a perfect world, it's like you ask for consent for all the things and you check in. But in the real world, like we're anxious and we want to be loved. And it sounds like she was genuinely so excited to finally bang this guy. Like even though there was the red flag with the cousin thing, like if I was listen, if I was in her shoes and I had been having sexual tension with someone for years and then I ended up dating their cousin on accident, but then like, I'm done with the cousin and now I have an opportunity, I'd probably fucking take it. Like I've been fantasizing about you for years. It's like what Oprah says with food, where like if you're craving a donut, but you like don't want to eat the donut because maybe you're trying to like lose weight. So you eat everything else except for that thing. You're never going to satiate the craving. And sex is very similar. So I just want to take a moment to commend you for like having sex with the person you wanted to have sex with and like satiating the craving. And it's like not your fault that it was fucked up. And it's not your fault that he was a boundary pusher. He may not even have been doing that out of being a malicious bad person because we're not educated about stuff. Although I will say, I do think men and all people, because it's not just men who do that. And honestly, I've been with women who were worse to me than some men. So it's not a gender thing, but we can all get, you know, bulldozed by someone. And I think the person doing the bulldozing to some degree is aware. So, you know, I don't want to say this person was a bad person necessarily, because he also might have been very excited to finally be with her and was maybe taking like every shot he could, you know, maybe. Yeah. It maybe sounds like he was coming from a place of like, oh, this may never happen again. So let me like
go all in
and do what I've been fantasizing with this girl. But yeah, you know, you do need to ask for consent. Also, I think one of the biggest lessons about consent that I never learned until later in life was you can revoke consent at any time. And so I always thought that consent was a one-time thing where it's like, okay, if we're kissing and we go into the bedroom, I've consented and now we can do whatever. And that's how I thought consent was. But actually,
that's kind of what I think like, surface level.
That's what we think it is. But in reality, it's like, oh, we've been kissing. We go to the bedroom. Oh, do you want to choke on my dick? Like, yes, no. Can I bite your nipples? Yes, no. You know, asking those things. And then also realizing that like, if at some point, like, you know, penetrative sex is supposed to last anywhere between, well, I shouldn't say supposed to. You could do whatever you want. But when it comes to what we've studied about the body, penetrative sex should last between 7 to 13 minutes. And after that, it can start to be painful. We can lose lubrication. I call it poof-gina. I've had it so many times where I just like kept fucking through the pain and was just raw poof vagina.
Oh my God, I've been there so many times too. Yeah.
And it's horrible to have poof-gina. We don't want poof-gina.
Yeah.
And so, you know, but it's normal for all of those things to happen. And it sounds too like this person, if you're listening, I think this experience was here to show you like the power of self-advocacy and that this is a journey to now start going on. So that way you can like communicate. And like I had a similar experience that was really violating with someone where I was bleeding all over the place because they were so rough and I didn't say anything. I honestly kind of blacked out for parts of it because I was just young and I was just sort of like, and I liked him so much, this person. But anyway, but you know what? Like, even though that experience was horrible, coming out of that experience, and it took some years to heal it. So also just like, no. And if anybody wants a really good resource, there's a book called Healing Sex by a somatic sex educator named Stacey Haynes. That is brilliant and incredible.
Is there an audiobook?
I think so. Because
I need that. Sorry, I love an audiobook.
But there is. And at the end of each chapter, there's prompts and there's all types. It's a really good book, but it's like a way to read about sexual healing and then actively start the sexual healing. But for the person who wrote this, or anyone else out there who relates, it's okay if it takes you years to heal from that experience. When something similar happened to me, it took quite a few years. But when I looked back, that horrible experience actually was the beginning of my self-advocacy journey. And now, no hoe can fuck up my shit unless I want them to.
Yeah, unless you consent.
Unless I consent to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Like, let's say you're, if we could like relive this situation, right? But in a more consented.
What happened to her?
Yeah. Way. Like, what would be, because sometimes it's like, I know consent is sexy, but sometimes it's like you want to keep going with the flow without like having a conversation or something. Like, what's the sexiest way to like ask for consent when you're
I
in
love asking for water, like a water break, because and again, like this still happens to me too, where it's like with that guy where I was like, I don't want to give head tonight. And I like went over and then he never asked. But there was one point where he actually like looked at his dick and he looked at me and I was like, he's thinking it and I don't want to have to. And then he didn't ask. But if he had,
he's thinking it.
Yeah, I could feel it. I was like, he's thinking it. But he didn't. But anyway, but if he had, like, I could have seen myself getting really nervous in that moment. And so my trick is to ask for water first. So that way we are pausing sex and we're not pausing sex because, or it doesn't feel like we're pausing it because of me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because when you're the one saying like, I need a break or I need this, it doesn't always feel like the best feeling and it can feel like you're ruining the moment. So I love taking a break and being like, can we have water?
A water break is always like, it's so true because I mean, we always love water.
We love water.
Especially during sex.
Because we need it.
We need, like, I get dehydrated sometimes.
I get so dehydrated.
Yes, and every time I'm done, I'm like, I need water. Like, it's such a thing. So you're right. That is such a great tool.
So that's my tool. Like, I ask for water. And then once I've had the water, I'm like, okay, at that point, it's like we've paused. We're no longer like maybe on top of each other because now we have to get up and drink water. Right. And then at that point I could be like, oh, actually the way you were biting my nipples, like it really hurt. Or like with this situation, if I was in her shoes as Nadege now, I would like ask for the water and then I would say like, I'm not that into rough sex. I really like things sensual. My body is really sensitive. Like, what are you into? And again, that goes back to the curious tone that I was saying before, is it's super helpful when you're talking about sex, especially if you need to check in like that, to be like, oh, okay, this is our first time. We didn't talk about this, but I'm really more sensual.
Yeah.
Are you into rough sex? How is that? And so then like you've had the water, you're sitting, you could start talking a little bit about that. And that's something that's really helpful for me.
Oh, no, I love that. That's such great advice. Like everything you said today was just like,
I try.
It was the best. So educated, you guys.
Also, I haven't said this yet, but your earrings are incredible.
Thank you.
Like, show the camera. They're gorgeous.
It's a dupe of a designer. You guys know, because it's like all over TikTok. It's like a trend right now. It's not Giuseppe. Fuck.
I love them.
Bottega Veneta.
Ooh.
Like they have like somewhat. It's like a thing, but they're like $1,500. They're super expensive.
Oh wow!
But Amazon, $20 or something like that.
Amen.
So, yeah,
love it.
I love a gold earring moment.
Oh, me too. I love gold jewelry. I love much gold jewelry.
When I'm like single and slutty, it's like a thing. Like I have like I used to wear like the bigger the hoop, the better. And I love a big hoop, but I feel like once I got into a relationship, my hoops and my earrings got a little smaller and dainty. And it's like not on purpose. It's just like,
no, but isn't it funny really how that can happen?
It's so true. Like the bigger the hoop, the bigger the hoe. Or like
is
the
that
more
a saying?
single you
Is that a real thing? Because I've got some big hoops
for sure. And like I used to, and like I loved a big like I needed to let everyone know that I was wearing hoops type of shit, you know. So, but now I'm all like dainty. I'm like, I'm just a modest little girl
who's gonna try anal pleasure.
who's gonna try anal pleasure. But yeah, well, what time is it? Oh yeah, we're over an hour. What the fuck?
How does that? I feel like it's been 20 minutes.
Oh shit!
I,
yeah,
honest to God, feel like it's been 20. How does that even happen?
Because it was such a good conversation. Like I feel like I really learned a lot, so thank you.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Well, anyone else who wants to learn more, sign up for the Sex Mastery course waitlist. That is the only way to get into the course. So you could go to pleasurescience.com to join the waitlist, and then you will find out when the course drops, and it's going to be really fucking good.
Yeah, and they also need to follow you on Instagram.
Pleasure Science. I'm Pleasure Science everywhere. At Pleasure Science, TikTok, Instagram. Where else? I don't know. Find me. You'll find me.
Yeah, find you at the Bar Sinister.
At Bar Sinister.
We should go back again.
We really should. I need more spankings. You saw me get spanked, right?
Well,
How did that look?
Get on the thing, but at the night, because there were so many people like surrounding you.
Really?
So like, yeah.
I went into I know. I was like,
completely
I love this dissociated, and I was just like, I had two hot power.
They were hot
dykes beating me up in a sensual way, and anytime I opened my eyes, all I saw was like Mistress Justine Cross, who you should follow her on Instagram too. She was one of the people who beat me up in a beautiful, sensual way. Anytime I opened my eyes, all I saw was like her ass in the latex bodysuit.
Oh yeah, no, she looks so good in that latex.
So like I didn't see anybody. I just saw like
you're like tunnel vision.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. It was.
No, I did see you like bend over again on the thing, but then I saw across the way Nikki was sitting with Nicoletta, and there was there was room right there, so I was like, oh, so I missed your show.
That's okay. You know, it wasn't necessarily for like my friends, you know. Yeah, it was,
but I was like, go off, Nadege.
Oh yeah,
like it's your fucking birthday, like you better get a fucking spanking.
I got some birthday spanking.
Yeah. And then yeah, it was I was like thinking, I was like, should I do it? Like, should I go up there? But I don't know.
We'll come back. We'll go back.
I'm shy.
You know.
I think I'd like, give me a few more years of healing and maybe you'll find me up there.
Well, would you consider going to like a private dungeon and like renting it for yourself? Because I actually know a really nice one. Los Angeles, LA Dungeon East is really nice. Full facility, private room. It's all yours. You can rent it for the evening. You could stay there overnight.
And then what happens is they have like
all the toys you could want. They have a bed. They have a swing. They have cages. They have suspension. They have ropes. You and Bryan can go. Oh. Well, that's what you do. Me and my ex nearly did that before we broke up. We talked about because she didn't want to go to those kind of sex parties either because she was still shy about it. And so we were like, okay, well, let's go and rent a room. And they have floggers, really cool. Whips. They have everything. So, and you can actually hire Mistress Justine Cross because she's the one who owns LA Dungeon East.
I feel like I would want like
she could give you a tutorial. Like you can like have a whole, you should have her on your pod.
What the fuck? Yeah. You can actually do this? I need to go like ASAP. Yeah. Because I really want to go to a sex party. And one, no one's invited me yet. And two, I need to take measures in my own hands and go somewhere. Can you invite me?
Because I'm actually
twins and never. I give the twins. I know you're watching. Cami, Nikki. I tell them all the time to invite me, but they haven't yet. And to be fair, I just moved back.
Oh, that's true.
So that's true. I'm just being silly, but I really want to go to a sex party.
Yeah, let's do it.
But if I haven't had an invite yet, I want to take measures in my own hands and go.
I'm going to one in January.
You are?
Yes.
Birthday month.
Okay, let's do it.
My birthday's in January.
Oh my God. Yeah. I love it.
Wait, so January, sorry. Maybe.
It's January 15 or 13.
My sister-in-law might be in town, but we'll figure it out.
It's okay. If not, that party happens like somewhat reoccurring. I'm going with Nicoletta, so you can tag along, or we could go to another one. Yeah. But I'm down. This year, I am so excited to this is going to be a year of such pleasure for me. Like we were saying, I just had my birthday, right? Yeah. So I've been like thinking of the next year, and I'm literally like prioritizing
and it is the end
sex.
Of the year. Yeah.
And it is the end of the year, but I'm like literally going to prioritize sex and pleasure next year.
That's such a good goal. I think I'm definitely going to do that too. Before we wrap this up, I definitely want to like next year really focus on healing that and just really diving and exploring a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I want to rent that room and talk to
Mistress
with her,
Justine Cross.
I need to get connection with her.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she can give me a tutorial. Okay, we'll stay.
You could even maybe do that for the pod. She's amazing.
I mean, we could talk about
like
it.
Talk about it.
I was like, I don't want to be like flogged like on the pod.
Just have me come over again. And I'll be like, flog me.
Or like I just flog. So I mean, that
and
is
me,
that
by the way,
demonetizing.
If you watch me go this when I was like, flog me, it's because when I get into a happy place and I surrender. And that's like, what that was, not like me turning into a corpse.
Like the being getting flogged did look fun, but there is a bit of trauma where it does remind me of like being beat up as a kid. Because like there'd be times where it was like, sometimes my parents would like schedule the beating. Like they'll be like, you're in trouble. After dinner tonight, we're gonna like hit you, whatever. And so I would have to be like bent over and they'll be like getting the belt, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, now we could turn that into sexual healing. You
can. BDSM can really heal the neural pathways. And like, that's one of actually like one of the ways people use it for sexual healing. And it can be really helpful. Yeah. But also, just because you're trying to heal from past abuse does not mean BDSM is going to be your way. For some people it is really nice and cathartic, and then for other people it is re-traumatizing and it's not productive. So, you know, try it, but give yourself, like, whenever you're trying anything sexual, give yourself permission not to like it and not make that mean something. You know what I mean? I don't think
I'm like still traumatized. It just reminds me of it.
I feel like I was saying that more for like your viewers, because I feel like 1,000%. You're so like I just trust you to carry yourself and know yourself, but like I don't want someone to watch this and be like, okay, BDSM is how I heal. You know, my parents beating me up, and I'm like, okay, maybe not though. Maybe
but like, but no, 1,000%. I think it's a good thing to like note because we could say that so loosely here, but it could not be what is right for somebody's healing. So everyone has their own way of healing. Yeah. But anyways, I should. Oh, are you ready to plug yourself? So it's my turn. Follow me. Wait, how do I do this? Sometimes I blank out. Follow me, Stefanie Maegan, or go to brocotherapy.com. All that shit is there. I felt so weird for a second.
You should, though. This podcast is amazing. I mean, they're listening. They know.
They're here. They know. If you made it till the end, you know this shit is great. Anyways, love you guys, and go fuck.
Yeah. Consensually.
Go ask for a water break.
Yeah. Water breaks are key.
Yeah. Okay. Love ya. Bye. Girl therapy.